Hi, it's Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Coming the latest blog posts and we review, of course, all this latest in social media and technology, doing one of our phone versus comparisons today. And you can be sure to check into all of our YouTube videos on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and also subscribe to the email list on the Chris Voss Show so you get all the latest stuff. We have all the major carriers sending us phones now, so you would definitely want to see the latest phones as they come out and as we review them. Stay tuned. So what we're doing is reviewing today the iPhone 5, which just barely came out a week ago from Apple with the new iOS 6 software on it, with the Motorola Razr M from Verizon Wireless. Now you can see both these devices. This is my personal AT&T phone. AT&T.com is where you can go and see this device, and you can go to VerizonWireless.com to see the Motorola Razr M. Be sure to tell them Chris Voss sent you. Thanks to both companies for providing the phones for us. The iPhone 5, what you're looking at is a height of 4.87 inches, 2.31 in width, 0.30 in thickness, a weight of 3.95. It has a 4-inch screen with 640 by 1136 pixels, a retina display of 326 ppi, a capacitive multi-touch screen. Battery standby time is about 9.4 days, and talk time on 3G is 8 hours with a capacity of 1440 milliamp battery. It has an A6 chip in it, which is a dual core, roughly 1000 gigahertz processor, and 1 gigabyte of RAM, 16 gigabytes of built-in storage. And of course, you can buy different models that have 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, and 64 gigabytes total that you can decide you want to choose from. Now, the one thing that's really interesting, the gigahertz that's on the Apple iPhone 5 is that the gigahertz is a little bit deceptive. They've redesigned the architecture in the core processors to basically redesign the ARM v7 architecture that's inside of it. It's super innovative is what they've done, and it gets incredible speeds out of itself. So you'll see some of that benchmarking here in a bit, and of course we'll review photos, Skype calls, all that sort of good stuff. The camera on the back has 8 megapixels of pixels, I should say, I guess. It has 1080p on the back, 30 frames per second. A front-facing camera of 1.2 megapixels at 720 HD, 30 frames per second. You're looking at, that's pretty much it for the iPhone 5. Let's get into the Droid Razr by Motorola. The dimensions are 4.82 in height, 2.39 in width, 0.33 in thickness, a height of 4.44 ounces. And the Android system runs on it for Ice Cream Sandwich of version 4.04, which is some of the latest you can get with the Ice Cream Sandwich. And not quite Jelly Bean, but hopefully they'll be able to put Jelly Bean on it. The processor is a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core processor with 1 gigabytes of RAM. Memory is 8 gigabytes of internal storage, and supports up to 32 gigabytes of a micro SD card. The display is a 4.3 Super AMOLED Advanced Display QHD resolution, 960 by 540. The battery is a 2000 milliamp battery in it with up to 20 hours of usable usage time, or up to standby up to 17 days. The pixels on the back camera are 8 megapixels. It of course does 1080p HD video capture. Front-facing camera on the Razr is a 0.3 megapixel 720p HD video recording. Both are great devices and powerhouses in their own right. They've both done really great on the benchmarks that we've done for both devices, so they've been very impressive, as you'll see here as we go through this. Now, with the Apple product, you basically have a product whereby you swipe from left to right. You have the ability to create folders and stuff like that, but that's pretty much the limits of what you can do on the wallpaper and the interactions with the device. Both devices have similar notification menus, as you can see here. Some of them are graphically different depending upon which Android system you're working with. With the Razr device, it has something that's a little different than some of the other Android devices that we've seen, and we actually really like it. Just a quick swipe from left to right will get you into a quick settings menu instead of getting you through a scroll that you normally see, such as you see here. So Motorola has changed the setup a little bit with the way they are running the Android system. What they also have on the Motorola Razr M, and we love this feature, is it has this animated live wallpaper. It's very cool. You can choose from several different styles of wallpaper, and also you can make galleries and wallpapers, etc., etc. Now, a lot of people do like the Android system because you can make and control different things with the device. You can take and create widgets, manage pages. Of course, you can see here where you can add on pages and everything else. People like the widgets and customization properties you can take and make on the Android system, and for them, they like the customizable features of both devices. Let's take a look at the we'll take you into the apps menu. You can see the apps menu. The apps menu has this really cool thing too on the Motorola. You can see the widgets here that you can take and add on. The one thing we like about the menu here, as you can see as we flip through it, it has a drop down behind and then a pull up and forward motion as you page through the apps. It's very slight, but it's kind of fun. We liked it. So it's very cool that way. The Motorola is just a rocking little phone, and so is the iPhone 5. Let's get more into the details here. With the iPhone 5, you're looking at a sensor here, of course, that senses your face or being close to the screen if you're on a call, and it turns the screen off. You have your speaker for on calls. You have your forward-facing camera. You have your home button here. And on the Motorola, I think there's a speaker that's underneath this Motorola logo, just a small one for your calls, and then you have your front-facing camera, a back button, a home button, and a recent apps button. You can see here there's a small microphone hole on the front of the device for picking up your calls. In taking a look at the backs of both devices, let's see what we have here. Now with the iPhone 5, we've added on this little magnetized thing that will take and allow us to attach magnetic lenses to the back of the iPhone. Normally it just looks white and pretty, and there's a silver part there for the, of course, camera eye. You can see that they've also put a forward-facing microphone hole, which is very smart if you're doing video, that you're going to be picking that up, the sound and audio on that. You've also got the flash lamp right there on the back, and that's pretty much it. I like the new changes they made to the iPhone 5 where the back is metal as opposed to the glass. I definitely like it. Now there is glass in the top and bottom for the antennas to be able to transmit, but I definitely like the steel back much better than the glass, and it's much lighter. With the Droid, you're looking at the camera eye here, you're looking at the lamp flash here, and a speaker here. Now at first, when we first unboxed this, we were concerned about that speaker being where it's at, because if you place it face back down onto a desk or something, we were concerned it might be muffled. Turns out it's a great speaker. It sounds wonderful, and there's no muffling that takes place in any way, shape, or form. So it does a great job that way. It has a really beautiful back, just really feels nice, and of course looks nice in its design and everything else. Okay, so here we can see the bottom of both devices. You can see on the iPhone 5 we have now a bottom earphone jack, the speaker system, place for the new syncing charging cable to be plugged in called the Lightning. On the Motorola, not much to see here, microphone that's kind of on the angled edge there. Let's take a look at the tops of both devices comparatively, and we'll look at the iPhone 5. Now on the iPhone 5, we're looking at a power button here. You've got your earphone jack for the Motorola on the top. Okay, so now looking down the right side of both devices, you've got the nano SIM card hole, which is a brand new, very small SIM card from Apple. It doesn't fit most of the micro SIM cards in the past. You also have a rocker volume switch here, up and down, for the Motorola. I don't know how well you can see that. It's black and kind of flows right nicely into the device, which is nice. There's a silver power switch here on the side, which is, I really like the power switch being on the side as opposed to the top with Androids. Just something I tend to prefer myself personally. It's up to you what you decide you might like. Now, with the iPhone 5, we're looking at, there's a mute switch here, which you can turn the mute on and off with the device. You've got a volume buttons up and down specifically. On the Motorola, you have a small micro USB area for plugging in the syncing and charging of the device, and you also have a flap that opens here little plastic flap area, if you will. And what this shows you is it's a place for your SIM card to go in right here, and then also a place for your micro SD card for the expandable memory to go in here. Okay, so what we've done is a speed test on both these devices. Now we're pulling these from the results log, so you'll notice that the Wi-Fi is on at this point in time. These were taken in an earlier time. You can see some of the speed tests that we took and got on the iPhone 5 using the AT&T network. You can see over here the speed tests that we got using the Verizon network, and both of them pulled really good speeds. Both networks are really great, especially in the 4G LTE arena. Okay, folks, so we ran a speed test using the hotspot on the AT&T phone. So basically a hotspot server on the iPhone to go to the iPad 3 that we have that will give it a good speed test hotspot. You can see the numbers here. The numbers we did see tend to vary a bit. We saw 5s during the day. It's now the evening, so we're seeing stuff in the 9s and 10s. So your mileage, of course, will vary depending upon your location. So this is the hotspot test, and you can see the speed test of results we got from the iPhone 5. Okay, so now here we can see the speed test results using the Motorola as a hotspot. So we've activated it as a hotspot, fed it to a iPad 3G, which will burn a lot of data if you give it to it. And you can see here the results we got from the Verizon network. So it processed a lot of really great data very quickly and very fast, as you can see here. All right, so here you can see the Geekbench 2 score that we got on both devices. This is usually seen as a definitive benchmarking thing for most Android and mobile phones, iOS, etc., etc. With the Geekbench score, it came in as 1643 for the iPhone 5, 1424 for the Motorola Razr. That's still a good score in terms of mobile phones. You can see here on the integer, the iPhone 5 prevailed. On the floating point, the Motorola Razr beat it, and on the memory, the iPhone 5 prevailed, and on the stream, looks like the iPhone 5 once again. Let's go ahead and page down so that you can see the comparisons between these two different systems. You can pause the video at any time. Great thing about these apps we use is some of them are free, especially on the Android system, and you can take and download these at home and compare them to the current phones that you may have, and you may want to compare which phone might be the one of most interest in getting for you. So you can take a look at some of these numbers. Of course, pause the video if you so choose to look at some of the numbers individually and how they scored up with both these devices. So there you can see there quite a performance put on by the iPhone 5. We're really finding the iPhone 5 is a monster of a phone, but I do have to say that the Razr M is also a monster of the phone. I've been very impressed with its speed quality and everything else that goes on with the device. So by no means is it too much far less. I mean, I'll let you decide between watching all the benchmarks we're going to do, but in no means is it far less than what the iPhone 5 is. It definitely runs a great competition. So we'll let you decide. Okay, so here we can see both devices. We can see the numbers on each of them. On the iPhone 5, we have a system of 3725 and a system on the pass mark of 2009 on the Motorola Razr M. Pass mark performance test mobile. Here's what we're using. Let's take a page down. We'll see the CPU ratings. CPU ratings got a massive 19,032 on the iPhone 5 compared to 5,264. On disk tests, you're looking at 12,522 against 2949. The memory tests 2384 against 2665 on the iPhone 5. 2D graphic tests, so you're looking at 1652 and 2129 with the Motorola coming out ahead there. And 3D graphics tests 1696 on the 3D, and the 3D graphics tests on the Motorola 632. Alright, so here you can see the GL benchmarks results between both these devices using 2.5.1. You can see here on the top one, the iPhone processed at 4437 frames, 39 frames per second, as opposed to the 3202, 28 frames per second on the Razr M. 4385 frames at 39 frames per second on the next one down, and let's see if we can't match that up, and that would be against 2398 frames at 21 frames per second on the Motorola Razr. On fixed time step, it did 31,923 milliseconds at 35 frames per second, where the Motorola did 45,654 milliseconds, which took longer actually, and 25 frames per second. Okay, so here you can see the browser mark scores. This is a thing to test the browser and its ability to process data. The iPhone 5 did 136,064, and the Motorola processed at 93,655. Okay, so now you can see here our SunSpider JavaScript browser test. And of course, the lower number is what you're looking for here to achieve. You can see the iPhone 5 did it in 1,012 milliseconds, I should say, and an 1840 process of milliseconds for the Motorola Razr M. All right, so here you can see us. We're doing a Skype call between the iPhone 5 and Skype. This is across a localized network. You can see the results we're getting here. Pretty good front-facing camera. Great results so far. Not perfect, of course. The front-facing camera is only like 1.2, so there you go. But you can see how well it performs on a localized Wi-Fi and a Skype video call. Okay, so now what you're seeing is here we're doing a video call using Skype, the front-facing camera, and of course we're doing this on the AT&T network as opposed to using localized Wi-Fi. So it still comes out really good on the quality of the front-facing camera, and yeah, rocks it. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're doing an in-Skype call on a localized Wi-Fi. You can see here the picture comes out really good on my iPad 3 coming from the Motorola, and actually broadcasts and receives my picture really well from the iPad 3. So really good job. In fact, this may be the best Skype picture I've seen from a forward-facing camera. So pretty cool stuff. Great, amazing little phone. Okay, so now we have a Skype call. We're using the Verizon network. We're not using a localized Wi-Fi, and this is going through Skype. And wow, it's coming out really good on the iPad 3, and I'm coming across fairly good back through the Motorola. So I'm pretty impressed. Little fallout here and there every now and then, but then it will usually improve as it goes through. But yeah, really impressed with the like, once again, this is one of the better pictures we've seen coming from a front-facing camera. Okay, so let's talk the camera. The camera has a lot of cool features, but it is very simple if you're used to an Android phone. Now, the shutter speed we notice is much faster, and of course loading everything is much faster. If you've got to take a quick photo, you're going to get to a lot faster with the iPhone 5. Now, very simple format that they have with the iPhone 5, or most of the iPhones, if you're familiar with them. You have the grid, the HDR. Now with iOS 6 on the 4S and 5, you now have a panorama version. We've used it a little bit, but I think there's still some apps that more people feel comfortable with in how they operate and how they work. There is the front and back, of course, changer. There's, of course, the switch between the photograph and the video. There's also the camera shutter button, if you will, and there's an area to get into your pictures. Let's take a look at the pictures. Now, it does take much better colored, it's an edge of better pictures over the 4 and 4S. Most definitely. Is it distinctive enough to go out and spend $700? I don't know. You have to add up all the elements of the iPhone 5. But the pictures are definitely improved with the quality of what they put into the optics and improvement. So I really do like the pictures better on the iPhone 5. You can see here some great colors that we're looking at. Now, they've also made some improvements in how well it deals in low light. You can see here a video that we're doing in a low light scenario that comes out really well. And of course, that's one of the great things. This is actually a flash photo. You almost can't tell because it lights everything up. But this is a flash photo in a low light situation. Great colors, great detail. Here's a video. We usually use the floor of my video to see how it comes to the accuracy of color and the lines and everything. So you can see here it came out very well there. A little bit brighter than what the floor of my floor is, but you can see that it's much darker in this photo, but that's video for you. So it takes great, sharp, beautiful pictures, just amazing stuff. With the panorama version, of course, you have the edit ability to go up and edit. You can take out red eyes, you can take and crop, you can take and enhance the picture with colors, and you can also change and edit the photo to rotate it. In going into the panorama area, you basically click on it, and it gives you a thing where you basically move the the iPhone continuously as you're going around and take photos, and it keeps track of where you're at. It's an okay panoramic app. I don't think I'd spend an extra $700 on this phone for it. Okay, so that pretty much concludes our benchmark test and our comparison versus video. I'll let you decide which one is better. I love both phones. They're definitely really cool in their own right, and they all have their own similar strengths, and they're kind of fun to use from different OS systems. They both represent some of the best you can get out of each OS system, if you will. So we definitely like both phones. They definitely rock in our minds. So either one is going to be good for you. You can get this one at AT&T.com. That's AT&T.com. Be sure to check in with them. Tell them Chris Voss sent you. And go to VerizonWireless.com to see the Motorola Droid Razr M. And be sure to check out all the other cool phones they have. Be sure to tell them Chris Voss sent you. VerizonWireless.com. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube feed and our email list so that you can get all the latest emails and data on all the coolest phones as they are sent to us and as we review them. Every time we get a new phone, we review it against all the other phones we have in our arsenal. So you end up with some really cool advantages as to taking a look at what different phones might work good for you in the future, or other people you know, or you'll just be really smart at knowing what the great phones are. Thanks for coming to the ChrisVossShow.com. Be sure to check back multiple times a day.